It often begins with a whisper, a subtle suggestion that seems almost too good to ignore, a promise that lands innocently in your inbox, masked as an opportunity, or flashes enticingly across your social feed. Blending seamlessly with everyday updates and news, it offers a lifeline, a beacon of hope to those drowning in bills, suffocating under debt, and paralyzed by anxiety. The pitch is deceptively simple, almost insultingly so. Just let a small sum, an insignificant amount, pass temporarily through your bank account, and in return you get to keep a cut. Solve your financial problems, or at least alleviate them, with just a few clicks, a couple of taps on your phone screen. It sounds on the surface too good to be true, a proposition that defies logic. But desperation, that gnawing feeling of helplessness, can warp your perception and make you believe the unbelievable. The people who fall for this aren't inherently greedy or malicious. They're often students burdened by loans and the rising cost of education. Single parents juggling multiple jobs and struggling to provide for their children. Pensioners living on fixed incomes that barely cover the essentials. Anyone really who is struggling to get by, working tirelessly but still falling short. The promise isn't luxury cars or extravagant vacations, it's simply survival. The ability to pay rent and put food on the table. Recruiters, the architects of these schemes, know this intimately. They meticulously tailor their message to exploit your specific vulnerability, preying on your fears and insecurities, making it seem not only harmless, but even clever, a smart way to make some extra money. The language used is professional and reassuring, the approach is friendly and disarming. Sometimes, in some cases, it's even romantic. Designed to appeal to your desire for connection. They build trust slowly, carefully, nurturing a sense of camaraderie, make you feel like you're in on a secret, part of an exclusive club with insider knowledge. The money offered initially is just enough to tempt you, to pique your interest, but not enough to raise any immediate alarm bells. Any lingering doubts are quickly drowned out by the overwhelming sense of urgent need, the pressing demands of your financial situation. And so, you take the first fateful step, a decision that will alter the course of your life. You share your sensitive bank details, blindly agree to the complex and often incomprehensible terms and conditions. There's a rush of adrenaline, a fleeting sense of control over your circumstances, a desperate hope for lasting relief. But the true reality of the situation is carefully hidden, obscured by layers of deception. You're not just innocently moving money from one account to another. You're unknowingly opening a door, a gateway to something far darker and more sinister than you could ever imagine. The promise of easy money is nothing more than bait, a carefully crafted lure, and the hook, sharp and unforgiving, is already firmly set, digging deeper with each passing moment. What initially seemed like a simple solution, a quick fix, is actually the insidious start of a carefully constructed trap. The initial feeling of relief is fleeting, ephemeral. The consequences, however, are far-reaching and lasting, leaving scars that may never fully heal. The enticing promise completely eclipses the harsh reality of the situation until it's far too late to turn back. You're not just an innocent participant in a harmless transaction, you're a carefully selected target, a pawn in a much larger game. The monsters lurking on the other side of the screen are patiently waiting, watching your every move, ready to pounce. And the ultimate cost, the true price you'll pay, is far greater, more devastating than you could have ever possibly imagined. Recruitment is subtle, a gradual process designed to lower your guard. It might begin with a friendly face on a dating app, someone who seems genuinely interested in getting to know you, or perhaps a job ad that looks legitimate, promising easy money for simple tasks. Scams mimic real companies, creating a facade of trustworthiness. They go as far as conducting fake interviews and generating official-looking paperwork to solidify the illusion. The illusion of legitimacy silences your doubts, making you question your instincts. Many mules don't even realize what they're doing at first, caught in a web of deception. Instructions seem routine. Receive a payment, keep a small commission as your fee, and forward the rest to another account. The larger criminal operation is carefully hidden from view. You see only your small, seemingly harmless role in the process. Sometimes the hook is romance, a carefully crafted online relationship. Scammers build trust and intimacy for weeks, even months, before asking for a seemingly small favor or help. The emotional manipulation is powerful and insidious. It preys on your empathy. Refusing feels like a personal betrayal, damaging the bond they've worked so hard to create. Ordinary people become unwitting accomplices, drawn in by these sophisticated tactics. It's not out of malice, but out of misplaced trust, a desire to help, or a desperate need for money. The full consequences of your actions are never fully explained or understood. Your bank account is simply a bridge, a conduit for dirty money to flow through. Money linked to drug trafficking, elaborate scams, or even worse criminal activities. You're deliberately kept in the dark about the true nature of the operation, diligently performing your assigned task with a misplaced sense of purpose and responsibility. The recruiters rely on your ignorance, your good nature, and your willingness to trust. You're ultimately a disposable tool, easily replaced in a much larger and more sinister machine. The real criminals, the masterminds behind the scheme, stay carefully hidden in the shadows. You are the one who takes all the risk and faces the potential consequences. And you never truly see the bigger picture, the scope of the criminal enterprise, until it's far too late to undo the damage. Realization hits you, a sudden sharp blow. A damning news story breaks. A previously accessible account is now frozen, and a recruiter's friendly demeanor turns into sudden, unsettling threats. The carefully constructed illusion shatters completely. You finally see the crime for the ugly thing it truly is. The initial relief quickly evaporates, replaced by a heavy weight of guilt and shame. You replay every single conversation in your mind, agonizing over every missed red flag, every warning sign you ignored. The shame is corrosive and all-consuming, isolating you, creating distance between you and those you love most. Fear takes over your thoughts. Fear of the police, fear of the criminals involved, and the most terrifying fear of all, fear of what you've become. Anxiety begins to disrupt every aspect of your life, leaving you constantly hypervigilant, on edge, and utterly exhausted. You're trapped in a vice, squeezed between the fear of arrest and prosecution and the equally potent fear of violent retaliation from those you've wronged. The guilt you feel isn't just a legal concept, it's deeply personal and profound. The money you handled wasn't just abstract numbers on a screen. It represented someone's hard-earned life savings, someone's hopes and dreams for the future. You were the direct instrument of their devastating loss. The easy money you once craved now feels tainted, dirty to the touch, a blood payment extracted for someone else's profound misery. The regret is utterly overwhelming, a crushing weight on your soul. You desperately long to undo your actions, to rewind time and make different choices, but the devastating damage is already done, irreversible. And now the crushing burden of guilt and responsibility is yours and yours alone to carry. The fear of legal trouble is real and immediate. Once your account is flagged, law enforcement is close behind. Panic sets in at the sight of a police car. The legal consequences are severe: prison, fines, a criminal record. Your future is derailed. Jobs, loans, even housing become out of reach. Banks close your accounts, leaving you locked out of the financial system. The cycle of desperation begins anew. Police investigations are invasive. Interviews, searches, your life under a microscope. You feel powerless, your fate in others' hands. The stress is relentless, the uncertainty suffocating. Months or years can pass in limbo. The shadow of the law never leaves. One mistake has changed everything. The damage goes beyond law and money. It poisons your relationships. The secret creates distance. Guilt and fear keep you silent. When the truth comes out, the fallout is devastating. Family and friends struggle to understand. Trust is shattered. Arguments erupt. Support systems collapse. Friendships fade as shame and anxiety drive you into isolation. The emotional toll is immense. Loneliness, depression, regret. Legal trouble brings public shame and financial strain. Families break, children suffer, relationships end. The ripple effects are heartbreaking. In trying to help, you end up hurting those you love most. The cost is everything that truly matters. Getting out isn't as simple as saying no. The criminals don't let go easily. Threats and intimidation replace friendly messages. They know your details, your family, your fears. Refusing means risking violence or being reported to the police. You're trapped, acting out of fear, not greed. The financial gain is negligible, the risk is enormous. The real profits go to the criminals. You take all the risk. You're exploited, used, and discarded when no longer useful. Psychological pressure and threats keep you compliant. Many stay not for money, but for safety. The nightmare has no easy escape. Most money mules are victims first, targeted for their vulnerability and trust. They're deceived, exploited, and left to face the consequences alone. The real criminals stay hidden. The mule is exposed to law, shame, and loss. The narrative of greed misses the truth. Desperation and manipulation are at the core. The cost of easy money is ruin. Reputation, relationships, freedom. The shortcut leads only to pain and regret. The real solution is never a criminal enterprise. Integrity, resilience, and support are the true path to security. The price of easy cash is too high for anyone to pay. That's the truth worth holding on to.